Hey, hi, how's it going? If you've been here before and you're back for more, I appreciate you to my very core. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Becca, and I tell your own personal paranormal experiences through short stories. If you have a personal paranormal experience that you'd like me to share and be featured on this channel, make sure to message me on Instagram. The link is in the bio. Without further ado, ba-doop boop boop, here is today's story. Kinsley grew up in Greenville, South Carolina with her family, and every year around Christmas they would get the whole family together for a Christmas dinner at her grandmother's house. So Kinsley, who was 8 years old at the time, was really looking forward to this family gathering as it was something she looked forward to every year. Not only did Kinsley love getting the family together, she really looked forward to going to her grandmother's house. You see, the house that her grandmother currently lived in once belonged to her great-grandmother. Now, Kinsley had never met her great-grandmother as she had unfortunately passed away before Kinsley was born. But Kinsley loved seeing all of her antiques spread throughout her grandmother's home. From china glasses to candles that she had once used, you name it, whatever it was that belonged to the great-grandmother had been delicately spread throughout the house in loving memory and honor of her. And Kinsley found this absolutely fascinating. However, there was one particular collection of her great-grandmother's that she had been longing to see and hold, and it was her collection of antique dolls. However, over the years, with Kinsley asking her grandmother, "Hey, can I see the dolls? Hey, can I hold the dolls?" her grandmother very sternly said, "Absolutely not. Those were of very high value to your great-grandmother, and in respect to her, no one will be touching or playing with these dolls." In fact, her grandmother, to avoid temptation of the girls wanting to play with these dolls, actually placed them inside of boxes and put them on the highest shelf in her closet in her bedroom. So Christmas time rolls around, and Kinsley and her family drive over to their grandmother's house where they're having this Christmas dinner. Now, in this house, there's actually two living rooms. There's one living room near the front of the house, and then there's a second living room near the back of the house that connects to their grandmother's bedroom. And everyone was sitting in the front living room, just socializing and enjoying each other's company. But Kinsley was actually in the back living room of the house with her cousin Haley, who was 11 at the time. And Haley and Kinsley were just socializing. They were catching up. They hadn't seen each other in quite some time since the last family gathering, and they're just really enjoying each other's company. And they're kind of just walking around the room as they're catching up, and then they walk from the back living room into their grandmother's room where they continue their conversation. Now, in their grandmother's room, she had this beautiful china cabinet that was just filled with extremely valuable and breakable belongings. Now, most of the belongings in this china cabinet belonged to their grandmother, but some of the belongings belonged to their great-grandmother. So as they're talking, they're admiring these antiques that are sitting on the china cabinet shelves. After admiring these beautiful antiques in the china cabinet, they continue walking to the other side of their grandmother's bedroom. It wasn't long until their curiosity of these dolls got the best of them, and they headed over towards their grandmother's closet where they knew they had been stored. Both Haley and Kinsley reached up, pulled the boxes of these dolls down onto the floor, and started pulling the dolls from the boxes. So after admiring these dolls for their uniqueness and just the amount of detail that was put into these dolls, they brought the dolls to the opposite side of the room of the china cabinet, placed them on the floor, sat down, and began to play with them. So as the girls are playing with these dolls, they're really enjoying themselves, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, almost every piece of china and breakable belonging that was in that china cabinet comes flying out of the china cabinet about 5 to 6 feet, lands in front of Haley and Kinsley, and just shatters into 1,000 pieces. Nothing actually hit them to cut them or cause them to have any trauma, but it landed so close to them that they were both just sitting there in shock. So as they're sitting there with just blank expressions on their faces as they can't comprehend what just happened, the noise that was created from this breaking glass caused the family in the front living room to just come running towards Haley and Kinsley. As soon as Kinsley's parents see all this broken china and broken glass all over the grandmother's floor, they immediately become upset with Kinsley, as it appears that Kinsley must have been either climbing up the china cabinet for whatever reason or playing around the china cabinet and it knocked over and just caused all this china and glass to break. But at this point, Kinsley has tears just rolling down her face as she doesn't even know how to express what just happened. But that's when Kinsley's dad notices that if they were playing on the china cabinet or climbing the shelves and knocked it over, the china and glass should have broken directly below the china cabinet. And that area didn't have any broken glass or china in it. The china and glass was broken about 5 to 6 feet from this china cabinet. So even if the china and glass had fallen off the shelves, there was no logical explanation as to where the glass and china had broken. So as Kinsley's parents are trying to understand what happened, Kinsley and Haley just erupt with this emotion and say, "We didn't do it. We didn't do it." They explain to everyone, "We were just sitting here playing with the dolls when all the china and all the glass just came flying off the china cabinet towards us." And that's when Kinsley's grandmother let out a very soft chuckle. Everyone was extremely confused as to why she would find this humorous and stopped talking and just looked at her. That's when Kinsley's grandmother slowly looked up at the two girls and said, "Mama never liked anyone messing with her dolls. Y'all know you weren't supposed to touch those." Kinsley's grandmother would then go on to explain that she's noticed very small paranormal experiences occurring in the home since her mother's passing, but always knew it was her mother just making her presence known. However, her grandmother did remember one incident in particular when Haley was about 5 years old. Haley was again in the back living room and they heard her talking to someone. When they asked Haley who she was speaking to, she pointed at a picture on the wall of her great grandmother. To this day, Haley and Kinsley have never touched their great grandmother's dolls, and they plan on continuing to never touch those dolls again, as they strongly believe that that was their great grandmother coming through to scold them for disrespecting her wishes on her beloved dolls. If you enjoyed today's recording, please leave a like or a comment. It's super rewarding. Wishing you nothing but a beautiful, blissful day. See you all on Tuesday. Bye-bye.